Matthew, thank you so much for taking the time to come jam with me. We're here at the ACE Expo in Niagara Falls.
Yep.
Have you been to the ACE Expo before?
Yeah, it's our second year.
Yeah, it's actually, I think, a really cool event. I'm excited to see how it's evolving in the Canadian automotive space, and I love the structure and the way they've done it. It's been successful for you guys so far?
Yeah, I think so. We 3 years ago, they used to do something called Dealer Day, and then they sort of consolidated into this event, and I think the size of the event really draws a lot more people.
I just feel like there's a little more social element to it as well, right?
Yeah, people are all just sitting around having lunch together. It's kind of neat to sort of have that ability just to, you're not just working, you're actually just like hanging out with people. So.
Exactly. Now, Matt, I wanted to grab you and have you come over because you work with PBS right now.
Yep.
And anybody in the automotive industry will probably recognize that name if you guys haven't worked with them at some point in time in the last 20, 30, is it that?
31 years.
Is it really? Holy crap, 30 years. Wow. You guys have been kind of a staple kind of in the industry, but recently some pretty exciting things have been going on.
Yeah, I've been with PBS for 13 years, and there really has been a bit of a changing of the guard in the last few years. When I started with PBS, between Reynolds and ADP, they would have had like 90+% of the market. They were sort of the big guys, and some of the new technology changes, it's really sort of opened the doors for providers like PBS to sort of give a dealer an actual alternative to what they're using today. So it's been really exciting. I think, when I started with PBS, we had maybe 400 dealers currently running PBS. If you look at the market today, we're just over 2,000 across North America. So it's been exciting. It's been an exciting last 10 years at least.
Well, and not just in you guys' growth, but also the systems themselves. I mean, there's been some just exponential jumps, in the last 5 to 10 years with what you guys have been offering as far as tech goes. And I think in some cases, so much so that dealerships aren't maybe necessarily even aware of how many different solutions and services you guys provide.
Oh, yeah. Like whenever we go into a dealership and, they've been with a provider for 10, 15 years, and then we sort of show them what they do, they're kind of shocked. They're like, wow, geez, I didn't even think that you guys could do that sort of stuff, let alone doing it the way you do it. So it's been pretty neat. The new technology sort of allows people to do a lot more. One of the things that you sort of see historically in industry is a lot of modules. Whether you have a service module, a parts module, an accounting module, you got a sales product, you got a desking product, you got a CRM, you got all these little bits and pieces. And the challenge can be is that a lot of times they don't really talk to each other all that well. Whereas some of this newer technology allows you to have everything all in one spot. So instead of having a service module trying to communicate with your sales and communicate with your CRM, you have one product to do all the above. So it is pretty unique from that point of view.
Yeah, and I think what it is that with the advancements in all the different solutions and the different technology that these DMS, is a DMS even the right word to use anymore? I mean, it just seems like it's an older word that we've been using for such a long time.
The words we've been using lately is it's a business platform.
Okay, I like that.
Because it's more than just a dealership management software. It's
I know, and I don't want to kind of stick you into the corner, and don't put baby in the corner. But yeah, I mean, you guys are just so much has been evolved into it, where you're taking care of so many different facets of the business, both from the sales side and the service side. And I agree with you. I think in the past we've always kind of thought it in this modular type format, right?
Yeah.
Now, and what I begin to see though in the last 5 years is this enhancement in your guys' systems, along with some of your competition as well. Mm-hmm. But I don't see the usage of the system changing much.
Yeah, absolutely. Our philosophy is twofold. So one of the big focuses of our software has always been make it easy to use. The usability of it, what we found is that there can be great products out there, and that might do 1,000,001 things. But if it's not easy to use, you're only going to use a very small percentage of it. Right? Mm-hmm. So having a product that's easy to use, you'll find that people naturally use more of it. So that's sort of step one. The other step is we want to make sure that we implement ways to make sure people are getting the most out of it. For years we've done an annual user conference. We've been, there's lots of things like Dealer University that we have in our software and all that sort of stuff. But one of the things we've also rolled out in Ontario, and actually we're doing a bit of a roadshow with all our stores, is we just opened up a brand new facility in Milton. It has room for about 100 people, but we included in that building when we built it was training centers, so that we could actually invite our local dealers to actually have people come in and be trained by PBS.
this is what I love. I love seeing vendors do this stuff. And of course, another reason why I want to grab you too is because that office is literally right down the street from me, and I've driven by it during its construction phase for a while. So I'm like, what's going on there? Like, that building's kind of big. I was kind of interested in what I was going to put in there. So, but I think that's so cool what you guys are doing. As vendors, myself on the service side and the marketing, and video production, and of course, and you guys' side on the SaaS side. We have to provide more value to our clients than just the product or service that we sell. And it sounds like that's exactly what you guys are doing with these workshops. And I think it's phenomenal for the dealerships. It's great for your guys' brand. It just brings a lot into it. Tell me a little bit more about what kind of topics and things you guys are covering in these workshops.
Yeah, so what we're doing is just doing like a monthly workshop right now, and each month is going to be a specific track for a certain department. So, just having a day just dedicated to parts, having a day dedicated just to service, sales, even like doing a session for like a general manager or some general managers to come in and talk about more like a high level view of best practices, because it's important to do a very good job in one department, but the other thing that people don't sort of factor in is like how each department interacts with each other. And sometimes the variables that come along with that interaction sometimes gets lost. It's like, I would do a really good job in parts and a really good job in service, but the communication back and forth between service and sales, sometimes that stuff gets lost in translation. So you can also have like a higher view training that I don't think a lot of people are sort of factoring into what they're doing.
I think training is kind of the big thing right now. You know what? I find that for me, I group it into 4 different categories, okay? I think for a majority of dealerships out there, we train on the activities, okay?
Yep.
We train our parts department, our service department, our sales department, our used car department on activities.
Yep.
I find then stepping down to the next level, a good majority of dealerships will develop out those activities so they reach better performance and better results.
Yep.
Then I kind of move down into this third level, which I call coaching, which does get smaller at this point. I don't think there's enough dealerships out there that are actually coaching. That's meaning being one-on-one with each of your staff members. And we're not just talking about sales. We're talking about service and parts and really helping on a one-on-one level how they can better themselves through these activities, right?
Yeah.
And then this fourth one, I just feel like it gets missed in very, very few dealerships, and that's in kind of that team development.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like it's interesting what you guys offer as far as the solution is that it touches all the teams.
Yeah.
It can be kind of that sometimes that web that kind of connects everyone together.
Yeah, well, and it's one of the reasons the way our software is designed the way it is too is the fact that like most software out there is like there's like a module. It's like whether you're like sales or you're like 180 or Merlin or whatever, they're all like a separate thing. But the
it's like little mini islands, right?
Right. But with ours, because it is just all one single product, there's more talk about that because you're not just in the sales product training. You're training within the DMS, and it all sort of communicates together, right? So it's a philosophy of the software, but also philosophy in the training and the implementation all at the same time.
And I think the key word that you use there is communication, right?
Yeah.
It's there's definitely not enough of that among departments at the dealership level. I mean, you've had the opportunity to be in a lot of dealerships, across the nation, both I guess here in Canada and the U.S. as well, right?
Yeah.
So you've had an opportunity to see what success looks like, and also what not so much success looks like.